Okay, so have you ever walked into maybe a sports bar or even just your own living room sometimes,
Hmm.
and you just feel, I don't know, maybe a bit overwhelmed by the sheer number of screens all around?
Oh, yeah. Or, trying to get a conference room set up working right.
Right, or you're trying to get multiple displays to show exactly what you want when you want it.
And it just ends up being this tangle of wires, and
Yeah.
you're constantly plugging and unplugging things. It's frustrating.
It really is. It feels like visual chaos sometimes.
Definitely. The dream really is just effortless control over all that video and audio, no matter how many screens you've got.
And that's exactly what we're digging into today. We're doing a deep dive into a pretty powerful piece of tech designed to bring some order to that chaos.
Which is,
It's the WolfPack 4K 60 Hz 4x4 HDMI Matrix Switcher, the one with apps and a WEB GUI.
okay, the WolfPack 4x4.
Yeah. So our mission here is to really unpack what this device actually does,
Yeah.
why it's such a potential game changer for managing multiple HD displays.
And how it delivers that seamless experience, right? From, say, a home theater all the way up to complex commercial setups.
Exactly. And just so everyone knows, we're basing this all on the detailed product info and specs directly from HDTV Supply for this specific switcher.
Right, straight from the source material, so you're getting the real details.
Okay, so we've set the stage. Let's get into the core functionality. How does this thing act as the master controller for your displays?
Well, at its heart, it's pretty straightforward conceptually. This WolfPack switcher, it takes 4 HDMI input sources.
So like a Blu-ray player, maybe a gaming console, streaming box, laptop, that kind of thing.
Exactly, 4 of those. And it can send any one of those inputs to any one of its 4 HDMI outputs to the displays.
Any input to any output.
Yeah.
And crucially, independently, right?
Totally independently.
Mm.
That's the key benefit. It completely eliminates that whole mess of having to manually swap cables around.
Which means instant switching.
Instant switching. You just push a button or tap an app and the feed changes. It's essential for places where you need to change content quickly.
And it's built for today's high-def stuff.
Oh, yeah. It handles 4K sources at 60 hertz. Resolutions right up to 4K with deep color.
Okay. What about, like, older or different resolutions?
It supports lower resolutions, too. Absolutely. Something like 1920 by 1200, no problem.
And compatibility-wise, HDMI standards.
It's HDMI 2.0 and HDCP 2.2 compliant. That's on all inputs and all outputs, which is important for modern protected content.
Good to know. HDCP 2.2 can be tricky sometimes.
It can. And another point on compatibility, if you happen to have older DVI gear, you can use HDMI to DVI adapters or cables. So it's pretty adaptable.
Okay, that independent routing, that sounds like the core function, but you mentioned 4K 60 hertz, maintaining that quality across potentially 4 outputs, maybe longer cables.
Okay.
How does it do that? Is there some kind of secret sauce?
You could call that. And yeah, this is where it gets really interesting technically. It's not just passing the signal along.
Okay. What's it doing then?
When an HDMI signal goes through this WolfPack switcher, it gets actively regenerated.
Regenerated. Okay, unpack that for me. That sounds like more than just boosting a signal.
It is. Think of it like the signal is completely rebuilt from scratch. It gets retimed.
Okay.
Its level is compensated. Phase errors are corrected. And maybe most importantly, any data jitter is eliminated.
Jitter. Like timing fluctuations that can cause glitches.
Exactly. So the output signal is essentially brand new, a perfect HDMI signal, just as if it were coming straight from the original source device.
Wow. So that explains how it maintains quality even with complex 4K signals or maybe slightly longer cable runs.
Precisely. It prevents those common issues like, flickering weird color shifts, maybe dropped pixels, or audio sync problems that you sometimes see with basic splitters or long HDMI runs.
So what kind of specific signal problems does this regeneration actively fight against for the user?
Well, it tackles signal loss over distance, which is inherent in cables. It combats noise interference that can creep in and corrupt the data.
Yeah.
And it corrects those timing errors, the jitter we mentioned, that cause visual and audio glitches.
Okay, let's get a bit more technical then. What kind of bandwidth are we talking?
It handles the full 18 gigabits per second needed for 4K 60 hertz with 4.4.4 chroma subsampling.
4.4.4, meaning full color information, no compression there.
Right, uncompressed color for every pixel at that high frame rate. It also supports deep color, 48, 36, 30, 24-bit options, plus 12-bit deep color and XV color.
So visually, it should be pristine. What about the audio side?
Really robust there, too. It supports LPCM 7.1 channel audio,
Mm-hmm.
Dolby 2HD, Dolby Digital Plus, and DT's HDMI Master Audio. Pretty much all the high-res formats you'd expect.
And I saw something about separate audio outputs.
Yeah, that's a neat feature. On HDMI output 1 specifically, it has separate analog and digital audio outputs.
Ah, so you could send the video to a TV or projector via HDMI 1, but route the audio separately to an AV receiver or maybe an amplifier using those dedicated outputs.
Exactly. Adds a lot of flexibility for integrating with different audio setups, maybe older receivers that don't handle HDMI audio pass-through well.
Makes sense. Now, another potential headache in HDMI setups is EDID. That's the communication between the source and the display about capabilities, right?
That's right. Extended display identification data. And yeah, EDID issues are super common. You get black screens, wrong resolutions, because the source and display aren't quite understanding each other.
So how does the switcher handle that?
It's got pretty sophisticated ED management. It has 8 EDID settings specifically for the outputs, plus 15 internal preset EDIDs you can choose from.
15, wow.
Yeah, and it also has EDID learning capabilities and adaptive functions. So it can basically learn what a connected display needs, or you can force a specific EDID profile.
So it helps ensure the source sends a signal the display can actually handle properly.
Exactly. It smooths out those compatibility wrinkles between different brands and models of gear. Big improvement.
And related to signal integrity, what about cable lengths? Are there guidelines?
Yes, and they're important to follow, even with the signal regeneration. For standard 1080p at 60 Hz, they recommend up to 15 meters, which is about 40 feet.
Okay, pretty decent.
For 4K at 30 Hz, you should keep it under 8 meters, or roughly 25 feet.
Right.
And for the full-fat 4K at 60 Hz, the recommendation is about 5 meters, so around 15 feet.
Good to know those limits. It helps ensure that regenerating signal stays clean all the way to the screen.
Precisely. It's about maintaining that quality end-to-end.
Okay, so we've got powerful routing, really impressive signal regeneration, robust audio, smart EDID management. That's a lot of capability.
Right.
How do you actually control all this power?
That's another area where it offers a lot of choice, which is great. The control methods are really diverse.
Like what? Is there an app?
Yep, definite. There are mobile phone and iPad apps for both iOS and Android. That's probably the go-to for a lot of users for day-to-day switching. Super convenient.
Okay, apps make sense. What else?
There's also a WEB bidirectional control, basically a web-based graphical user interface, or WB GUI.
Ah, so you access it through a web browser on your network.
Exactly. And that WEBG is pretty powerful. It allows you to easily rename your inputs and outputs, which sounds simple but makes managing things way easier.
Oh, yeah. Instead of input 1, you could call it Blu-ray player or game console.
Right. And you can also rename scenes or presets. Makes recalling specific configurations much more intuitive.
Does it offer more than just renaming? What else can you do in that WEB?
It generally gives you a full visual overview of your setup. You can see what's routed where, check connection statuses, and it often provides more detailed configuration options compared to the mobile app. Sometimes troubleshooting info, too. It's often the preferred method for initial setup and deeper customization.
Got it. Any other ways to control it?
Loads, actually. It comes with a standard IR remote control. There's also dedicated software control, likely for PC. And for more advanced integration, you've got TCP/IP and RS-232 control.
RS-232, so serial control for integration with automation systems.
Precisely. And it even comes with Control 4 drivers included, which is a big plus for users of that specific system.
Nice. What about presets? Can you save common setups?
Yep. It has 10 internal presets you can save and recall. So if you have a favorite configuration like movie night or game day, you can access it instantly.
And physical controls on the unit itself.
There's a front panel LCD display that shows the current status and buttons right there for direct switching if you need it.
Okay. Now, I saw a mention of an optional thing called the WolfPad Sports Bar Tablet Control System. That sounds specific.
It is. That's a specialized add-on solution primarily aimed at, well, sports bars or similar large venues.
What does it do?
It lets you manage DirecTV channels specifically for up to 36 TVs, all from a single iPad interface page.
Wow, okay. So for a manager walking around a huge sports bar, they could change the channel on any of those 36 TVs from one iPad.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Centralized control for a really large number of displays focused on that specific use case. Streamlines things massively in that environment.
Makes total sense. And speaking of professional environments, you mentioned the physical design earlier. It sounded pretty robust.
Yeah, it's clearly built with professional installation in mind. It's a standard 1U rack height.
So it fits neatly into equipment racks.
Right. Dimensions are 19 inches wide, 10 inches deep, 1.75 inches high. It also has little details like screw holes above each HDMI connector
Why screw holes?
for locking HDMI cables. Prevents them from accidentally getting pulled out, which is crucial in a permanent install or a busy rack.
Ah, smart.
And it uses broadcast class silent buttons on the front panel with blue backlights, plus spiral power connectors.
Spiral power connectors, like locking power plugs.
Yeah, they twist and lock in place, ensuring a stable power connection that won't accidentally disconnect. Again, all about reliability in those pro settings.
It sounds like every detail is geared towards smooth, reliable operation, especially in demanding setups.
That seems to be the focus, yes.
So we've touched on home theaters and sports bars. Where else is this kind of matrix switcher really proving its worth? Any maybe unexpected applications?
The range is actually pretty wide, showing how versatile it is. Beyond the obvious ones, think about restaurants. They might use it for digital menu boards and showing entertainment feeds.
Okay.
Casinos for displaying game information across different areas, bowling alleys, fitness centers for streaming classes to multiple screens.
Right. Anywhere with lots of screens needing different content.
Exactly. Malls for digital signage, places of worship for displaying lyrics or presentations simultaneously on different screens, even data centers for monitoring multiple systems.
Data centers. Okay, didn't think of that one.
Yeah, or gaming rooms for complex multi-screen setups, nail salons showing entertainment, country clubs, even factories for monitoring production lines or displaying safety info.
The factories.
Well, and of course, conference rooms are a big one. Quickly switching between laptops or other presentation sources is key there. And schools, too, for classrooms or auditoriums.
It really covers a huge spectrum, from entertainment to industrial applications. It seems like flexibility is the common thread.
Absolutely. And HDTV Supply notes that users often choose this model specifically because of the sheer number of features it offers compared to alternatives they looked at.
It's not just one thing, it's the whole package.
Seems that way, yeah. The combination of routing, signal quality, control options, and application flexibility.
Now, thinking about the professional integrators, or maybe folks looking at larger, more complex systems, how well does this WolfPack matrix play with established third-party control systems?
Very well, actually. That RS-232 port we mentioned is key here. It allows the switcher to be integrated pretty seamlessly with many major third-party control systems.
Like which ones?
The documentation lists examples like AMXA, Control 4, which we know has drivers, Crestron, RTI, Elon G, Savant, URC Control. Basically, most of the big names in automation.
So an integrator working with, say, a Crestron system could incorporate this matrix into their overall control programming.
Yes, using that RS-232 port and the control protocol.
What if you're a really experienced AV pro, maybe someone who likes to write their own custom drivers? Is that possible?
It is. HDTV Supply provides a simple RS-232 script or command set specifically for this purpose.
Okay, so they give you the commands you need to send.
Yeah. They give an example, actually. If you wanted to switch input 1 to output 2 and also send input 1 to output 3, the RS-232 command would look something like 1 by 2 by 2 and 3. And they note that the period at the end is important.
1 by 2 by 2 and 3. Okay, seems logical enough.
And what's really helpful for developers is that the matrix actually responds. It sends back OK if the command was correct and executed, or ERR if there's a mistake in the command syntax.
Oh, that's great for debugging custom code. Instant feedback.
Exactly. It makes custom integration much easier when you know if the device understood your command.
That level of control is really powerful for custom jobs. But let's pivot back to the end user for a second. Maybe someone wants a whole house system, but those big integrated systems can get really expensive, right?
They definitely can. The programming and integration labor is often a huge part of the cost.
So does knowing about this RS-232 control offer any kind of maybe cost-saving angle for an end user on a budget?
Actually, yes. The source material suggests a specific strategy here.
Oh, what's the tip?
If you get a quote for a full system from an integrator and it's, higher than your budget allows,
right,
they suggest calling HDTV Supply directly just to get a quote for the hardware components you need, like this matrix switcher.
Okay, so buy the hardware directly first.
Potentially. Then, armed with that hardware quote, you go back to a third-party control system reseller or installer in your area.
And what do you tell them?
You basically say, look, I'm planning to purchase this specific hardware, including this WolfPack matrix. Can you give me a separate quote just for writing the control software, doing the programming, and installing the hardware I provide?
Ah, I see. You're separating the hardware cost from the programming and installation labor.
Exactly. And the suggestion is that this approach, breaking it down like that, could potentially save you thousands of dollars on larger whole house type systems.
That's a really interesting strategy, but are there any catches, any potential downsides to that approach?
Well, there's an important clarification. HDTV Supply makes it clear they aren't certified by those third-party control companies like Crestron or Control4,
Okay.
and they don't verify or troubleshoot the custom code that the third-party installer writes.
So if the custom programming has bugs, that's on the installer who wrote it, not on HDTV Supply.
Correct. However, HDTV Supply does warranty that their hardware works as specified, and that the provided RS-232 script will control the matrix correctly if used properly.
Gotcha. So you're getting reliable hardware with the documented control method, but the integration layer is the responsibility of the programmer you hire separately.
Precisely. It puts a bit more onus on the end user to manage the relationship between the hardware supplier and the software integrator, but the potential cost saving could be significant. You just need to ensure you hire a competent programmer.
Makes sense. It's about understanding where the responsibilities lie.
Yeah, clear communication between everyone involved would be key.
Okay, so we've really covered a lot of ground here. We've taken a comprehensive deep dive into this WolfPack 4K 60 Hz 4x4 HDMI Matrix Switcher.
We looked at how it intelligently routes multiple HD signals, any input to any output.
And that crucial signal regeneration piece, rebuilding the signal for pristine quality, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, tackling jitter, compensating levels.
Yeah.
Really ensuring top-notch video and audio.
Plus the incredibly flexible control options apps, web GUI, IR, RS-232, integration with pro systems.
Right, and the wide range of places it fits, from a high-end home theater to restaurants, conference rooms, even factories.
It really seems designed to be the central hub for managing complex visual setups reliably.
Definitely seems that way.
So stepping back from the specific device, what does all this kind of technology mean for how we interact with screens going forward?
That's a great question to ponder. I mean, whether you're trying to create that perfect, seamless home theater experience where everything just works.
Right, no more fiddling with inputs.
Or you're managing these increasingly complex networks of displays in public spaces, like digital signage or entertainment venues.
Yeah.
Could technology like this, these intelligent matrix switchers with signal processing and flexible control,
No.
could this be the sort of invisible backbone that just makes all our connected visual experiences,
Yeah.
well, effortlessly perfect?
An invisible backbone, making it all seamless. That's definitely something to think about.